What if I told you the woman you're seeing has thoughts that she's never told anyone? Not her best friend, not her therapist, and definitely not you. Now, that's not a knock on her or on you. That's just reality. But here's why it matters. A disconnected sex life is one of the strongest predictors of relationship breakdown, and one of the first places that people feel the distance growing. Now, one of the most powerful antidotes, understanding what she actually wants, not what she thinks she's allowed to want, what she actually really wants. Today, I'm walking you through 6 of the most common female sexual fantasies, what the research actually says, what they mean psychologically, and how to be the kind of partner that she would trust enough to tell. Stick around for number 4 because it is the one that makes men the most uncomfortable, but it's also the one that could change your relationship the most if you understand it. Number 1, multi-partnered or group sex. Let's start with the one that makes people the most nervous to admit. Group sex fantasies. Threesomes, foursomes, swinging, orgies, play parties. These are among the most frequently reported across genders. In Joyelle and Carpenter's large-scale study on sexual fantasies, multi-partner themes clearly fell into the common category, with over 50% of respondents reporting them. And multiple studies published in major sexuality research journals, including the Journal of Sex Research, consistently find this among the top fantasies that women report. Based on my own experience, both personally and professionally, it falls right in line with what I see. What is this fantasy actually about? For most women, it's not about a specific person or act. It's about the feelings that it represents. Novelty, intense, undivided attention, the taboo thrill of something forbidden, and a kind of sexual freedom that everyday life just doesn't offer. It's part of the fantasy of being so desired by multiple people that her value and attractiveness is beyond question. And this is important for everything that follows. Just because she has this fantasy doesn't mean that she wants to have a threesome this Friday. Some fantasies are powerful precisely because they stay in the imagination. The question isn't, how do I make this happen? It's, what is this telling me about what she wants to feel? So why doesn't she tell you? Well, a fear of judgment, fear that you'll read it as dissatisfaction, a fear of opening up a door when she's not sure of what she's just opened. But can it be explored in real life? Yes, absolutely. And I've worked with many couples who have done that exact thing. And here's what I've learned. When it's approached with the right intention, the right communication framework, and the right preparation, it can actually and counterintuitively be one of the most bonding experiences that a couple has. But when it's approached without those things, when there's no framework, no conversation, no plan for what happens during and after, that's where things go sideways. I've seen that too, more times than I would like to admit. The difference isn't desire, it's preparation. I actually built an entire course on this, and it includes something that I've never offered before, a live demonstration video with real people, meaning real bodies, and a real consent conversation on camera before anything begins. The link is in the description. Group sex fantasies are about being desired by many. The next one, it's about being desired by one person so completely that she can fully let go. Number 2, power exchange, dominance, and submission. This one comes up constantly, both in my coaching work and on YouTube and on Patreon. And I want to reframe it because I think men either underestimate how common it is or overestimate how extreme it needs to be. Research consistently puts submission-themed fantasies among the most prevalent for women. Multiple studies have found that more than 60% of women have had them. But this is not about recreating something aggressive or violent or pornographic. For most women, this fantasy is about 3 things: surrender, trust, and intensity. She wants to feel so safe with you that she can completely let go. She wants the experience of not having to manage, direct, or decide, just receive. I was coaching a couple once, and the woman said that she wished her partner would just take charge sometimes. His first instinct upon hearing this was to panic. He thought that she was asking him to become a completely different person and do things to her that would make him uncomfortable. But what she actually wanted was for him to be the one who set the tone, to lead with certainty, to pull her in and kiss her without waiting for her to give him a sign. That is the version of power exchange that most women are asking for, not the red pill version that some men manosphere influencers present, one that starts with deep, deep safety and trust. So how do you explore this? Start outside the bedroom. Practice leading with calm confidence in small moments during your day-to-day. Make decisions, set the tone, be overwhelmingly present. Then bring that energy into intimacy. And remember, dominant doesn't mean ignoring her signals. In fact, it means tuning into them 10x more. It means taking full responsibility for the experience while staying deeply tuned into her desires and her arousal moment to moment. Now, if power exchange is about surrendering to someone who she completely trusts, this next fantasy is about surrendering to someone that she's never met. Number 3, the dangerous stranger. This one makes partners feel a flash of insecurity when they hear it, so let me just start by diffusing that right away. The stranger fantasy, a passionate encounter with someone unknown, unburdened by a shared history or routine, is not about wanting someone else instead of you. It's about novelty and freedom and the electricity that you feel when everything is new. Esther Perel makes a really compelling case in her book Mating in Captivity that long-term relationships face a fundamental tension. The safety and familiarity we build with a partner is exactly what can erode our erotic exchange. Mystery is one of desire's core ingredients. So when a woman fantasizes about a stranger, she's really fantasizing about a version of herself, one who isn't holding on to the weight of the familiar. It's not that she wants someone else, it's that she wants that feeling. And the good news is that you can create it together. One of the best and simplest and maybe like almost verging on a trope vehicles for this is the strangers at a bar scenario. You both agree in advance to meet somewhere unfamiliar, like totally new to both of you. You arrive separately. You pretend not to know each other. You do the whole thing, the approach, the flirtation, learning each other's names, either real names or fake for an element of roleplay. This might sound silly, but what actually makes it so effective is that it gives you both permission to step out of your daily roles. You're not the person who forgot to unload the dishwasher anymore. You could be anyone. You are given a fresh set of eyes, a fresh experience of yourself in this moment. I've had clients tell me that this one exercise helped them to reignite something that they thought was gone. Beyond roleplay, the spirit of this fantasy is an invitation to keep things fresh. New locations, new pacing, different dynamics. Let yourselves be slightly unpredictable to each other. That's not just fun. That actually acts as a protective element for your desire over the long term. The stranger fantasy is about novelty and freedom, but the next one, the one I told you to stick around for, is about something much deeper, and it's the one that most men get completely wrong. Number 4, consensual non-consent. The most misunderstood fantasy on this list, and the most important to handle carefully. Consensual non-consent, or CNC, refers to fantasies involving scenarios that simulate the absence of consent while being entirely negotiated and agreed upon in advance. Research suggests that a majority of women have had some version of this fantasy. The estimates vary, I think partially because a lot of women don't want to admit it, but multiple studies put the number between 40 and 65%, depending on how the question is asked, which makes it remarkably common. I want to be absolute care about something. This does not mean that she wants to be harmed. It does not mean that no sometimes means yes. Having this fantasy doesn't make her damaged or broken or deviant in any way. What it's actually about for most women is complete psychological release. It's the idea of being so caught up in the moment that you don't have to think, decide, or manage anything. You're overwhelmed, and so you just feel. And for many women, it's tied to a deep desire to feel irresistibly wanted. Not just desired, but desired beyond reason. Why does she hide this? Because this is one of the most misunderstood fantasies, and she doesn't want to be misunderstood. She doesn't want to be judged. She's afraid that this thought will reflect badly on her, and honestly, sometimes afraid that it could be used against her. Like, I worked with a couple where she had carried this fantasy for over a decade, and she never said a word. When she finally brought it up to him, she was literally shaking, not because she was ashamed, but because she was convinced that what she was going to say out loud would change how he saw her forever. Fortunately, his response was, "Thank you for trusting me with that. Tell me more about what it means to you." And that one sentence allowed them to change their entire sexual dynamic, not because they immediately acted on it, but because he made it safe for her to tell the truth. And once that door was opened, everything between them was able to shift. How do you handle this one? If she wants to explore it, well, you absolutely never surprise her with it, ever. her, full stop. If this is something that she explicitly wants to bring into your sex life, it requires real conversations well outside of any sexual context. You establish a safe word. You define clearly what is and isn't okay. You build in aftercare, the time after the experience where you reconnect and check in and process together. The entire container, communication, setup, check-ins, it's all a part of that experience. Done with that level of care, it can be deeply bonding. Done carelessly, it can cause real and lasting harm. And for some women, then this fantasy works best exactly as that, a fantasy. Something she thinks about during solo time, something you two fantasize about through sexy talk, but something that fuels her arousal without her actually needing to do it. That's not a problem to solve. It's actually a healthy part of her sexuality. Your job isn't always to make it happen.